Hurrah! Friends, more service and repair. Welcome back to the shop. Today, we are doing a non-destructive teardown of this Poulan Pro snowblower engine. Now, the reason why we're going non-destructive is in actually taking care to properly, keep all the parts. As you can see, I've already taken some of the bolts out, like the muffler and the muffler guard and what have you. But the reason why is, for those of you who watch one of my more recent videos, I am presenting at a STEAM Academy, which is Science, Technology, Engineering, Arts, and Mathematics, which is what STEAM stands for. So, I, being a small engine mechanic, thought, okay, what could I do to present or show these kids a little bit about engines? And I am going to do with this guy something I have wanted to do for a very long time, but just never had a good engine to do it to. This engine is pretty much 86 based on the customer's standpoint. I could, if given time, I could probably get this engine running, but the customer did not want to give me the time, and so they just ended up trashing the snowblower. But what I'm going to do is I am going to do, like I said, I'm going to do something I've wanted to do for a long time, which is I am going to turn this engine into a cutaway. So I'm going to cut like a quarter of the cylinder out after removing the piston, so as to not damage the piston with my angle grinder. And I am going to do a cutaway of this engine, but also I'm going to kind of cut the block, or the side cover of the block here, so it has structural integrity, but enough that it gives you a window into the crankcase as it's spinning the thing. And because I want to do this so I can show the kids what is happening inside the engine as it's running. I thought, what better way to do that than to actually make a cutaway engine? How many people have actually wanted to see them? I've seen them before, but only custom made by the manufacturer, something like that. I'm going to make this one myself. So, let's dive into tearing this thing down, because I got to remove the piston, the camshaft, obviously the oil, stuff like that, and just kind of get this engine cleaned up before actually doing the cutaway and put my angle grinder to work. So, let me do some tearing down on this and we'll bring you back. Definitely going to hang on to the start hair, because I cannot tell you how many people have brought me a snowblower and said my electric starter ain't working. Whether that's it's spinning and the gear won't pop up, or it just doesn't work at all. So definitely hanging on to this one, because these brand new are like $200 for whatever reason. It's almost half the price of a mediocre snowblower right there. Definitely going to hang on to the at least the pull start here, because those are not exactly cheap, but definitely still in good shape and got a good spring to her. Welcome to my life. Well, after that red torrent of foul language, let's get back to work. And if any of you have watched any of my teardowns, you know I always keep I always keep governor or carburetor springs, because you can't buy them individually, or at least I cannot seem to find the individual part numbers for these springs. So I always hang on to them, and I keep them in my used but still good parts drawer over in my tool chest. You know, I'm always curious if I should hang on to the fuel tanks, and this one's in clean enough shape and inwards and outwards, I think it'd be worth it to hang on to. Plus, it's got a fully working petcock valve. Don't go there. I heard you. So now, we are draining the oil, and next stop, I believe we will pull the head off and get everything cleared away for that, get it out of the way. I think what we'll be doing is we'll go ahead and we'll cut away on this lower corner here, because we're going to be cutting away on this side of the crank, or the case here. Mightn't be a good place just to kind of create a little window there. But actually, now that I think about it, there's the cylinder here. We'll just kind of do like a quarter opening, so like this head bolt over to this head bolt. We'll open that up. That will basically cut along here up to about here over the bearing well on the side cover here, and we'll go kind of the same way under here. So that way it'll support the crankshaft. It can still do its spin-a-thing thing to demonstrate, but we'll still have a nice, great big window that we can. I want to pull it off first to find out where the camshaft is. If memory serves, yes, it's going to be down here. So I'm going to need to I'm going to need to leave a spot for the camshaft as well to make sure that it has plenty of support there to demonstrate the valves. So that's where we're at. Okay, let's pop open the crankcase here. There we go. Slowly but steadily. Okay. Come on. Just gotta get it. Peek over the edge of that crankshaft. Some more. There we go. Alrighty. So that tells me really where I need to go. So I'm gonna go from this bolt hole right below the bearing holder here. We might even just go right above the oil fill. Hold the camshaft in place. Go kind of up, over, and then down. Yeah, we'll go right over to here. So it'll kind of have a bit of a goofy hangulation to it, but that'll give us the support we need. Like I said, this engine isn't actually going to be running, but yeah. So just like about every other Chinesium engine on the Marquette, that is. Stop switching camera lenses, goofy phone. Anyway, so camshaft, crankshaft. Probably it does have a little compression release built into the lobe of the camshaft, so pull those guys out because I want to pull at least the piston out while I am carving this little cutaway right here. So that's what I'm up to. Okay, so here's our little camshaft and the little compression release tab right there. So as this thing spins up, it pulls that release out of the way and gets the valves sealing as tightly as they should. Well, even if I did end up getting this engine running again, it definitely had some sort of issue going on with sealing. I'm guessing the ring's probably fried somehow, but you can see this piston is proper nasty. So I'm gonna pull the piston out, and I think it's cutting time. Well, as we can see, as the time is wearing on with this video, we're gonna have to do a part 2 of this cutaway build for these students. But I mean, a piston is good, proper shape, nice and clean. I mean, obviously my greasy mitts are getting schmutz all over it, but yeah, this. Let me check the journal was focus. Thank you. The journal was starting to wear a little bit, so obviously had some issue with oiling on there, but I don't know. So we're gonna. I think we'll probably save you the boring part of cutting it down as we get to part 2, and I'll bring you back when she's done. So that is part 1 of this engine teardown / cutaway build for educational purposes. Alrighty, we got some pieces all cut up. And here's what the side cover will pretty much look like. Oh, the other way. So it'll go on like that, but basically giving us a nice little window into the crankcase. A nice little cutout here for the viewing port into the actual piston cylinder. Definitely want to give a kiss of grease into that bearing, just in case I didn't get all of the grindings out of from the angle grind air out of the bearing here. Anywho, so that's in essence what it'll look like. Once I get it all put together, I'll show you what it looks like. I'll bring you along for the trip as we hit various milestones. So here you have it. This is basically the way I will take it to the Steam Academy. And it'll be something for the kids to be able to get up close with. And kind of like so, if my tripod would stop moving around. It'd help if I'd lock the height adjustment on the legs. That'd make most of the sense. Yours truly is a bit of a buffoon. One thing I've never been accused of is knowing what I'm doing when it comes to a camera. So, but yeah, so you get to see the full travel of the piston, and you get to see the camshaft to spin my thing in, the dipper paddle on the connecting rod. If we look real, first of all, we need a flashlight. Peer down in there good and proper. So if you look down in there, come on, again, I don't know what I'm doing when it comes to a camera, but you can see the cam lobes and the little lifters down in there. So the kiddos will have a chance to really get a feel for what that looks like. Let me see if I can prop you back up here. So you can actually see the cam lobes move, push up on the lifters, and then return. So they can actually come over to the valve cover side. Intake, exhaust. Whoops, I'm spinning her backwards. Intake. Am I spinning it back? Yeah, I'm spinning it backwards now. Intake. Compression release. Compression. Ignition. Exhaust. So they'll be able to see all of the valves, or both of the valves moving, the innards of the engine itself. This is everything I wanted it to be, and it allows me to show the kids what it looks like. So let me know if you guys think there's anything else I could add to this that'll help them learn. I mean, they left the governor on, so control the carburetor. So I can show them basically the carburetors. I wish I could have gotten a clear one. I'd love it if some company would make one of these but clear, like something made out of glass or polycarbonate or something like that, because that'd be great. So yeah, and then we come around the other side. I can show them how the magnet flies past the ignition coil to create a spark, and if I really want to, I could even spin it over fast enough for where it should be able to create a spark. So my little cutaway engine. I've been wanting to do, like I said, I've been wanting to do this for a goodly long time, or I've wanted one of these for a long time, and I didn't have to pay for this one. Only had to pay for the materials to cut the thing open. So this is everything I hoped it would be. So that is what I got for you, and wish me luck on showing these kids a thing or two about how engines work. because I'm hoping that maybe some of these kids will eventually be in the industry. I know for sure that mechanics are in high demand right now. So anything I can help to teach them, show them the fun of getting covered in grease, that's what I'm here for. So anyway, that was my little project for today. Hopefully got a few machines coming in this afternoon or sometime later this week. And we're on to the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.